just an hour and a half from Brisbane. Every sort of four-wheel driving you would want is right here. Loving it. Leo! Have we got another car?
Only about an hour out of Brisbane and you are in the most spectacular four-wheel drive park.
We're out here at Swan Gully, a beautiful scenic area of southeast Queensland.
Last week we were down in the Victorian High Country doing the challenge. This week we're up here in Queensland.
Been very fortunate to be invited out by Simon. Pretty chilly down in Melbourne, so great to get out into the sunshine up here. Got a new driver with me today, Leon. He's out from the Queensland branch. I'm used to doing the driving myself, so this is going to be a bit of an interesting experience.
We're here for 2 days. I haven't been here before, but I heard there's some pretty technical tracks out there.
A lot of rain overnight. Been fairly wet the last week, I understand, so expecting a couple of challenges.
Travelled from New South Wales all the way up into Queensland, spent the day around the area before getting to Swan Gully, and it rained quite a lot. In the back of the ute we've got the draw system, fridge, all my recovery gear, everything we need for the weekend. I was happy with the fact that I could travel along in that rain and not worry about with the amount of water that may or may not get into it, because the water resistance of the load lid is basically guaranteed. The ability to carry things on top is where it comes into its own. When I've got a bit of extra kit that I want to carry on top of the load lid, I can strap up to 200 kilos, in fact, on top. Get your gear on, strap it down, away you go.
Ben, the owner of this property, his passion is building these parks, and he's owned this property for 6 years, and this place is absolutely spectacular.
How you going, Ben?
Very well, how are you?
Yeah, ripper. The weather's turned it on for us today.
It has. It's not the kind of park where you'll sit in your car and sort of potter around. This one's really technical, and it's a challenge for you to get out of that car and work out and solve the problem yourself. Do you want to have a look at this area?
Yeah, definitely.
First off, we turned up at what I call the playground. Great little area. We got out, had a look at it.
I mean, look, we'll just crawl it. We're not going to send it, go crazy. But there's plenty of traction.
Figured, well, let's save that for the end of the day. Let's, wet our whistle on a few of the other tracks around.
Ben was able to guide us to some easier sections just to get used to the terrain, used to the conditions.
Everyone happy with that?
Yep, sounds good.
We'll finish up back in here for the afternoon.
First track of the day, you don't really want to dent the door. So there's another track that's just as fun.
There's a big rock on the right-hand side that I'm a touch worried about. Let's get the diff locks on and get into it.
How was that, Simon?
The track flicks you the right way and just pushes you around, as long as you sort of hug that left.
Not too hard. It does it just beautifully. Too easy.
Get yourself lined up, Chris. I'll come down and spot you.
Yeah, I'm all lined up.
Straight forward, Chris.
I had to really make sure I picked my lines, because Simon's lines are going to always be different to my lines. The guy's running 37s, so I was always going to have to be a bit different.
Good, fun little hill.
Because of the amount of rain we had, there was a fair amount of washout, and because there was some water still around, a lot of the rocks can be quite slippery.
A lot of moisture, a lot of clay, so really slippery. Once you got offline and you got to the clay sections, really difficult, lost traction very quickly.
There's a lot of fun to have in these sort of medium grade tracks, especially after a little bit of rain.
Bring it up. Let's go.
Left-hand side's going to be a bit slippery compared to the right. My car is probably the smallest car of the group. It's a standard car. It's got a basic lift. A little bit of slip from the back already. But surprisingly, the Ranger we've just rear diff locked crawls up. Good job, Ranger.
Yeah, he's cleared it all out for me. So. Oh, come on. Come on, baby. There we go. It does look wonderful up at the top of this place.
But I was expecting a lot of tough forward driving. That's exactly what we got. But you don't have to do all the challenging stuff here. You can just Drive around the ridge line, have a look at the views, soak it all in.
Now that's nice.
That is nice.
Yeah, looking through the valley.
Wow, look at that.
That's cool.
This is just beautiful country, close to town, good living, beautiful camping, just a lot of things to enjoy in this place.
A latecomer to our convoy was Mark from Razor 4x4, an old mate of mine with a very shiny new rig.
This is actually a fresh build.
Michael and I did an all-nighter at his fab shop, getting everything together. It was a mission.
It just is one of those projects. It just started off stock, and I only ever planned to just put wheels and a lift in it, and I got a little bit carried away. It would have been impossible without Michael from MBS Fab, but yeah, he's done an absolutely incredible job. Then I got to take him out here, and he was blown away because he's never done full driving either.
We're like the bulk amateurs in this whole group.
First off, we did a little bit of a tiki tour around the park.
Continued up some nice long climbs, a couple of difficult sections, a few rock ledges.
So far, a lot smoother than tread. Oh. I told you. I hope that makes the episode. That was good.
Got to catch up with my driver. Just made sure he didn't use the right foot too much.
Geez, he said there's only one way to go. I don't know, I reckon the left side looks good.
That's beautiful down there. Have a look at that.
Driving on the ridge lines here, one of the things that I did, and I caught myself a couple of times, I was constantly just doing this. I was just rubbernecking the whole time. This place is stunning.
There's a ridge line that goes right around the border, and from all points of that ridge line you get awesome views right out south, north, east, west, you name it. You can see everything from up there.
You can see Brisbane from up there, and you really are so close to sort of the city, but you're so far away that you feel you're on your own.
We get hikers that go up there and set up fires up on the ridge, and they watch the fireworks in Brisbane on a New Year's Eve, or just see the lights and sit back and relax. It's just beautiful.
So it was nice to just cruise around and have a bit of a look before we started hitting some of those technical tracks.
Go ahead. Yeah, I'll get you to come down. I'll give you a hand.
Uh-oh. The brakes on it are actually quite good. They're very good brakes, and they look good too. Holy dude, have a look at the angle he's on.
Howdy.
Towards the end of the day, when we were starting to come back down those ridge lines, the camera car got into a bit of strife.
We did have one little episode where we did slide out of a rut and had to get a little bit of help from Simon to get us through that little section, which was very, very scary to say the least.
Ready, ready.
That's it, just come gentle on that. A little bit of left, yep, nice and gentle. Right, yep, left now.
You did it! Awesome. Thanks, mate, that was awesome. Thank you so much.
Should I be my safe with my thumb out?
No.
No?
A fair bit of a side lean on this small track, and the danger of that was that we were going to slip into the wheel ruts on the side and possibly damage the side of the car. The only thing that saved us and kept us up high were the side biters on the tyre. We had them down low pressure so the side biters could work. They do a couple of different jobs. One, they give you traction, especially in off-road conditions, and the other thing is they protect the upper sidewall of the tyre from any punches or damage from rocks and so forth. Make sure you look for a tyre that has good quality side biters on it, good construction, and you can't miss a trick.
When you are in a bit of a situation and you're not real keen, get someone to spot you. The spotting is the perfect opportunity for you to concentrate on what they can see. They can see an opportunity where the car's sitting, where the wheels are, and that person can see what you can't. Even if it feels wrong, even if you approached a spot thinking, I'm going to go that way, and the spotter's telling you to go another way, put your trust in that guy. Put that wheel exactly where they say. When they say go, give it a bit. When they say stop, stop.
Oh, slipped straight off that rock, but no damage, eh?
We get lots of groups out here and lots of expert four-wheel drivers, super competent in their vehicles.
You won't get in too much trouble, but you do need to be a little bit sensible about what you do, but certainly give it a go.
You can go from normal intermediate cruise to winch challenge type circuit within a few minutes.
A little bit of slippage there, and you're in a hole this big.
Yeah, it looked pretty sketchy.
With rock panels.
I don't want to scratch my nice new paint job.
That was an awesome drive.
Cheers, man.
There's just so much to do here. This is why I love coming to four-wheel drive parks. One, you want to support the local communities, and two, it just makes four-wheel driving a whole lot more easier.
That section of track to the left there is quite greasy and off-camber. Now though, the challenge is getting the lighter cars down the off-camber track without slipping into the big rut.
Coming down on the descent here, after all this rain, that clay surface is quite slippery and it does really get caught up in your tyre grip.
Vamos!
Even going downhill, you can lose brake traction, you lose control of the vehicle. Simon went first, took out a massive rock on the side.
You get to that point where you're coming down a hill like that and the vehicle starts running away. You've got to remember, get off the brake because that's not going to help you. Let the tyres do their job. Keep the vehicle straight, tricky hills, this is fun.
One of the things people always forget is you don't want to be jamming on your brakes really hard. That is quite dangerous. You want to use your low range locked in first. Some of these descents, ideally, even if your rear locker on, you really got to pick your line and be careful with what you do.
Just be aware of what the ground is like and how much traction you may have or where it might get away from you as well. Be aware of what you can do. But realistically, it was all good. The car handled really well.
This will be a hold my beer moment.
Sitting in the passenger seat at Leon doing the driving today. He's been to this park a few times before, so he's fairly experienced.
At the end of the day, we went back to the playground, and fantastic little area.
That's in the lowest range you can go at the moment.
That's low first gear.
I wanted a little bit more of a challenge.
Oh, careful what you wish for.
He lies. He's scared. Very, very scared.
Only the downhill.
Yeah.
Just pushing around those rocks. That is awesome fun.
Plenty of tracks. You can sit back, watch the vehicles, watch how they work, which is fantastic.
I can't see.
When you're coming over rise, you actually got an idea what you're going into, so having someone spot really made a difference. I got out, spotted a few vehicles through there and they got through without an issue.
Perfect place for you to get a bit of experience because you can climb a few hills, you can do a couple of the creek crossings, you can do a little bit of a loop.
Fantastic little area and a great way to finish a day.
Time to head back to camp. I've got a little bit of a suspicion here that Simon might take us the opposite way. Oh, a bit of a ledge there.
Well, that is the guard.
You'll see it's got a bit of a camber on it.
I'm not going to make that. I'll give it a shot.
Are you? Yeah, you're not serious.
No.
I don't think so.
Look at him bounce. He's going to break his CV if he's not careful.
Come on, baby. Come on, Chris.
The line to the left is the one I wanted to do. Simon took the line to the right. I couldn't let him just do that on his own.
Let's go and have a look at the line.
It looked an easy section until you walked up to it.
I think I might need some 37s.
I'll do the invoice when I get back.
So I went to the line to the right and I struggled. Front and rear locker on, I couldn't get up.
He was a bit of a Suez Canal where he was sideways there at one stage.
Yep, go.
Oh, I think I made that harder than it needed to be. It made the day just finish on an absolute high for me.
Snap the tie rod.
Has he?
Yep.
Bent a tie rod end like a banana like this. And here we are stuck up a track, sun going down, a long way from home.
I think the wheel alignment might need to be corrected now.
Well, looky. Patrol, recovering a Land Cruiser.
Clear! Well known that Toyotas don't have a very good handbrake. Luckily, we came prepared with the chock. These are specifically designed with the right sort of arc here so they can wedge in. It looks like it's not the right size for the tyre, but it's actually thinner here at the front so it wedges in and gets trapped.
So the tread chock, one of the things we're super proud of is, well, we make this in the same factory we make our recovery boards, right here in Brisbane, Australia. We actually used our DNA from a tread recovery board. Carrying a chock like this, not only great just for chocking up a trailer or a caravan, because we all know Land Cruiser handbrakes aren't the best, especially when you're working on them.
When I went through, I went over to the left. Yes, there's a bit of a side lean, but I figured that was the easiest way to get up, and a couple of little goes and we got the Prado up there, no problem. We got to the top, we realised how much damage was actually done to the Mark's Prado.
I'm going to have a crack at doing something pretty crazy. Are you okay with me having a crack?
I don't think you can get any worse.
Stop. Tears in the winch cable. I think he's on the right track.
Luckily, the guy that also had helped fab the car up with me, he was here. I got these vice grips, which can probably go out quite wide.
Nah, can't use that.
No?
Yep, got it.
It's been about 13 cooks in the kitchen because everyone had an idea. Someone knew how to straighten it, someone had a hammer, and I think a guy was running around with multi-grips the whole time.
We landed up wedging it into one of the rear bars of the vehicle.
Holy it's actually working.
Lucky we had spinach for breakfast, right?
Simon did like a Hulk impression and actually bent a fair bit of it himself.
Bending like butter. You're getting there.
That's great.
That's better than when we started.
That's good.
Yeah.
When we start setting up for wheel alignment too.
Before driving, he said. It'll be fun, he said.
Fair multi-grips to lock it in.
I reckon if you put multi-grips on here holding that, that'll actually work.
Would you like to borrow some? I just happened to have a pair.
But he had some of the tools to hand, and even Steve had his vice grips, which he was really keen to use.
And I was the guy with the multi-grips that I finally got to go.
Took a couple hours. Definitely got to see the sun go down banging on a tie rod, but hey, that's four-wheel driving.
Now it's not so straight, but a lot better than where it was to start with.
But it just shows you how quickly things can go wrong.
Yes, it's been a wonderful day here. It's been absolutely fantastic. Some great tracks, great technical.
With the Prado bush fixed, we're looking forward to another day at Swan Gully Park with more challenges and a very special guest that you won't want to miss. We'll see you then.